I'd like to highlight and comment on the French reconnaissance by Danny Tomo. He's done a fantastic job documenting exactly what is going on over there and the lies which we've been told about these gangs which are facilitating these cross-channel uh, rubber boats coming over to the UK, 38,000 this year. Hats off to Danny Tomo and his team. They're doing what, in all honesty, a lot of ex-veterans should be doing. I've often said the 850 million which the government is paying France for, there's nothing to show for it other than a deficit in terms of the 38,000 people who have crossed the channel this year. I've long said that you could sort that problem out with a company of commandos and a box of Stanley knives slashing the boats while they're on the shore. I don't know what the legal implications of that, and maybe I think at worst case it'd probably be down as criminal damage. But then at the same time, you know, the boats themselves. I mean, can you get done for criminal damage if you sort of put a puncture in the tire of a getaway car, for example? Yeah. So I don't know where it stands there. But seriously, simply patrolling the beach, even using the drones, etc., infrared, to check where these people are coming on the beach and slashing those uh, those dinghies would be the maximum deterrent for anybody thinking about crossing over. This seems like a facilitated activity by the authorities who all seem to be in collusion. Um, I'm aware that Ant Middleton was interviewed somewhere, not sure where, and he mentioned the same thing, that this is something which the government is pushing with long-term effects. And he was mentioning something like 2027 when it's all about to kick off. I believe prevention is better than cure. And I feel that if we had a sufficiently motivated number of people, they could do proper, action in regards to this. It's puzzling as to why the establishment wants this. I was reading a book um, by Aaron Davis called Bankruptcy, Bubbles and Bailouts, The Inside History of the Treasury since 1976, where they mentioned that after the Second World War and that sort of period of continuous boom, where Harold Macmillan said that we have never had it so good, when we get to 1972 and the Arab oil crisis, with the spike in the oil prices, uh, the whole economic boom turned into a bit of a bubble in the untethering of the currency. And what we see under the Thatcher years was this push towards privatization to try and generate revenue for the government and for the country. And that was also in cohesion with the European Union because they had a policy about the single common market that no national enterprises should be national and should be privatized. But the Conservatives disguised it as free enterprise, like it was their own idea. And then after that, we have the Blair government with its public-private partnership programs of combining both state and private sector to try and boost GDP revenue because they keep talking about this like deficit and black holes. And then the latest, and this is what we're seeing at the moment, is this influx of immigration, predominantly to keep wages down, because that's the success of it so far. It has managed to suppress wage demands after Margaret Thatcher sort of virtually destroyed the unions. When you think of the London transport and the train drivers who are being paid sort of 60, 70,000 a year, And people are like, oh, why should a train driver get that? Well, they should get that because they've got strong, robust unions. But ironically, it is those unions who have been facilitating labor with this so-called like immigration. So if it's going round and round in circles, and then of course you've got the anti-family situation where misandry is rampant, but anything to do or with a hint or sniff of misogyny is like stamped upon from a legal point of view. The whole deterrent is about busting up relationships, reducing the family. And that is interesting. And this is where AI comes into it. Maybe that's the whole narrative. You know, with AI coming in, you've got this situation where a lot of labor, and this is going to affect white collar workers more than anything, because AI is like a fantastic tool where Mrs. Jones is going to get fired, and a lot of solicitors and other professional startups are going to be affected. And so the rich are going to get rich who owns this. And at the same time, you've got this mass immigration, which is completely and utterly got a chokehold on wage inflation, followed by, of course, this disastrous war is going on in Ukraine, which is stoking up inflation in terms of the increased uh, energy prices. So my hats go off, or the hat goes off to uh, Danny Tomo and his team, shedding light on that what we suspect and confirming it as real. Now you've got the intel. It's a question of what happens next. That's it. Over and out.